Yo, what is up, guys? I'm back and welcome back to the channel, and today we have a bit of a special review as we are going to be finishing off another group of characters, a faction from a film from, of course, Transformers Rise of the Beast. As you guys know, we've been on that track a little bit. You know, we've been on that track for a little while now. You guys know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio series Voyager class Rhinox, the final, technically the final maximal. Obviously, we know Ape Link's coming out, I think, later next year. Still debating if I'm going to get that. I know Yola Park made a Ape Link, the robot mode, which looks so good. Oh my gosh. Really tempted to get that. But for today, we're going to be taking a look at Rhinox. And this figure is actually really, really good. Like, before Primal came out, this was like the absolute best maximal that had come out before. Like, when you compare him to other versions of himself, he looks amazing. He looks absolutely amazing. I love what the production team did with his design for Rise of the Beast. Looks great. But before we get to the review, guys, of course, if you haven't, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts, and let me know what your favorite Rise of the Beast Studio series is. I'd love to know. And of course, turn on the bell notification so you guys don't miss another video from your boy. But with that, let's go ahead and just get straight to the review, shall we? And here we are with the final current Rise of the Beast Studio Series figure, that being Rhinox. And this is a really good figure. Like, I know that he's pretty common to find in like Walmart, Targets, all that, but he's a really good figure. Like, I don't know why people don't pick him up more often, because he's a really, really great figure. But before we get into him, of course, per tradition, we're going to take a quick look here at his packaging. So as you can see here, we have a really nice CGI render of Rhinox in his Rhino mode, which I'm just now noticing. You can see a couple of chains that are right around like his neck piece. You have his very bright green eye with his massive horn. You have Transformers Generation 103, Studio Series, Maximal logo, and Rhinox. On the top, Transformers Rise of the Beast. On the very top, Transformers Rise of the Beast. On the bottom, words, things, and barcodes. On this side of the box, we have a nice look at his robot mode. On this side of the box, we have another look at his Rhino mode, and he's a Voyager class. On the back of the box, you have your obligatory product shot with the robot mode, the Rhino mode, and of course the bio that says Rhinox charges onto the scene to protect the maximal layer from intruders, which I still really wish we had gotten that scene in the movie. It would have been really, really great to see. But turning our attention away from the box and moving to the actual figure, the detailing on this guy is honestly one of my favorite parts about these Studio Series Maximals, as it's one thing that they have in common is that the detailing is so nice and so incredibly noticeable. Like, you just look at these figures and you're like, dang, the amount of detailing they have is, it's crazy good. And of course, getting into a proper look at his detailing, as you can see here, his head is just full of detail and wonder. It's crazy. As you can see, moving down towards the arms, you can see a couple of battle scars. You can see a little bit of damaging. You can see some more mechanical detailing. And you can especially see that more in the chest, and you can see there is a Maximal logo right there. But just looking at the detailing on this guy is crazy. You have a lot of like, more like, you know, rough edges, you have a lot of scarring, you have a lot of battle damage, and the back is especially clean. Like, this is a very, very clean back, which I love so much. And I also gotta admit, these horns real fast, I love that, like, you don't normally see just horns on Rhinox. You see like the whole rhino head, and I think that's a really nice touch. Now, getting into his articulation, you do have a ball joint at the head. You can look up pretty far and look down a pretty decent amount, as well as look side to side. You do get a full 360 at the arm. The shoulder case can move out, which allows you to move out the entire shoulder. You do get a full 360 at the arm. The hand has a full swivel, and you do get a slightly lower than 90-degree bend. You do have a waist swivel, so yes, the back does not hinder the waist swivel. The tail piece can move up and down. Not sure why that is, but meh. This piece right here can move forward, and the legs can kick a pretty decent amount up, and they can kick very, very far back. You do, of course, get a beautiful spread. You do have a thigh swivel, or I guess really more it's like this like middle piece here. You do get a slightly over 90-degree angle bend, and the foot can pivot as well as move down. So yeah, the articulation is amazing, which allows you to get into a lot of great poses, which I very much enjoy. Now, getting into his accessories, he only comes with one accessory, that being this hammer, but even then, the detailing is amazing. You have a lot of like these like pieces for the handle, you have got a lot of detailing on the actual hammer piece, and you have these pieces here, which allows you to just slam into opponents. And of course, this can go on either one of his hands. You just slide it on, and it'll kind of plug in right here. Admittedly, I don't like how the hammer scales with Rhinox. I feel like that if they had just made like a handle like here, like maybe like a little lower, then it would have worked a little better. I don't like how you have to like go all the way to here, but I still think that the poses you can get with this guy is still amazing nonetheless. Now then, getting into some size comparisons. Here he is next to the Rise of the Beast Voyager class Optimus Prime, and obviously Rhinox is just a little shorter than Prime, but I think that the scaling works pretty well from a couple of little moments that we got in the movie. Here he is next to the core class RC, which this scaling will work a little better in the Rhino mode. But I still like it a lot. I like how RC is obviously a lot smaller than Rhinox. It works for scaling. Here he is with my previous review, the Voyager class Battle Trap. And I like how Rhinox is like a little beefier and taller than Battle Trap. It kind of shows that Rhinox is like the muscle of the Maximals, which I really, really enjoy. Here he is next to the leader class Rise of the Beast Scourge, who does have the DNA design, both of the upgrade kits for him, which it doesn't really change his scaling. So he's still the same like size as he was when he had the original kits. I guess he might be a little shorter due to the slightly shorter head, but I don't know. Here he is with his fellow Maximals. So here is Cheetor. Here he is with Optimus Primal, the leader class, obviously. And finally, here he is with the deluxe class Air Razor, who unfortunately, while she didn't transform in the movie, this is still, I think, a great scaling. And this just looks like a really, really great team. So there you go. Now then, getting into this guy's transformation. This has to be one of my favorite figures to transform, as he has such a fun and interesting transformation. It just makes me wonder. So the first thing you're gonna do, rotate the wrists around. You're then going to pull them out like this, rotate these around, fold it back up, and you now have the foot of the Rhino mode. So you're gonna do the same thing on this side. Now what I like to do personally is I like to just rotate them 100. Well, I like to rotate them like kind of like halfway, and also these tabs like to come out kind of often. Now the reason I like to do this is because normally you're supposed to have the legs like this, but it kind of hinders articulation in the Rhino mode. So I like to have it like this, and it does reveal some decent paneling and stuff and different pieces of detail when you actually get into the figure, like into the Rhino mode. Next thing you're gonna do, you're gonna pull out these pieces here. You're gonna take the whole chest, bring it all the way down, and now you're gonna take these pieces here, you're gonna fold them into here. So you're just gonna line it up until you hear a click on both sides. And then these two tabs here will go into these two slots here. So you're gonna fold this up like so, and there you go. You have a Rhino belly. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on the back. So the first thing I like to do is I like to fold this down, get it out of the way, and then you're going to bring the whole back, you're gonna basically open up his back. You're gonna fold out the rhino head, fold in the horns, and then you're gonna take this piece right here and you're going to fold this out. You're gonna open up the rhino head, fold out the horn, tab it back into place, and then you're just gonna bring this back. Now, there are two new tabs here and here that are going to go into these two slots here to kind of cover the original head, like so. Next thing you wanna do is you wanna position the arms up, and you're going to use this double hinge joint here to fold these in until they go ahead and plug into place, like so. There you go, you have the front of the rhino done. Now the back is pretty simple. First thing you wanna do, if you haven't, collapse in the legs. You want to fold, actually you wanna fold this piece right here up until it tabs into place. Just so you know, there are two slots here and here that go into these tabs here. Just go until it tabs into place. Sometimes it does actually like to be untabbed, which is a little annoying. Next thing you want to do is you want to fold these pieces out of the way, which allows you to untab the legs. And this piece right here is going to fold over this piece, like so. And there you go. You have a leg done. So you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Just kind of bring the legs together. And then there are two slots right here and here that will go into these tabs here and here. So just fold everything down until it all connects into place. Fold the tail down, and there you go. You have a completed rhino mode. And this rhino mode is really, really good. Originally I wasn't a huge fan of the way that it kind of like looked from the promotional images, but now having it in person, which I've had this figure for a while, but just having it for as long as I have, the detailing is fantastic. Now, of course, the instructions do tell you to have the rhino positioned like this, which I'll show you a little later why this kind of hinders articulation. But before we do into that, we're gonna go and get into the detailing and just look at the great amount of detailing they have on this guy. This is crazy. Actually, this side might be a little better to take a look at. But as you can see, they actually painted the eye freaking green, which is just absolutely insane to me. If I can get it to focus, that's good enough. So as you can see, they just have a crazy amount of detailing, and a lot of the detailing from the robot mode brings itself over to the rhino mode, which looks really, really good. And then of course, looking at the underbelly, admittedly, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's manageable. It's manageable. Now, getting into his new articulation, you have a hinge joint here at the head. The mouth can open, so you can, if you wish to, you can recreate that scene where he's just roaring from the trailer. Now, this is what I mean by hindered articulation. For starters, you do get a swivel here. Now, here's the problem that I have. The legs bend inwards when you have them in this position, versus when you have them in this position, they bend backwards. So it allows you to get more of a more accurate looking rhino mode. You can do it either way, whichever one you prefer. That's up to you though. The new feet are on a ball joint, which allows them to move up and down and rotate all the way around. No more waist swivel, unfortunately, due to the rhino mode, but you do get some articulation here in the legs, and the feet articulation is the exact same as the robot mode, same with the tail. But there you go. There is Rhinox in his rhino mode. Now then, getting into some comparisons. Here he is with, once again, the Voyager class Optimus Prime. Now the reason why I'm not showing some of these characters in their vehicle modes or their alternate modes is because it just kind of shows a sense of scale. Like, you know, like we saw a lot of these characters more like this, like, you know, Rhinox and Optimus, we barely saw them together in their robot modes equally. So I feel like this is a really good and accurate scaling, especially when you put them with the others that were in the final battle. I feel like that this just scales so freaking well, and I love it. Next up, here he is with, once again, the core class RC, which if anybody's wondering, yes, you can, technically, it takes a little bit of fiddling, but you can actually sit RC on Rhinox's back, which allows you to recreate that scene of her blasting Terracont and Scorponok while Rhinox just bashes through everything, which looks absolutely incredible. I love it. For jokes, here he is with the Studio Series Pablo Sweep, which looks, these guys I think look really well together. And yes, you can also recreate the scene of Rhinox blowing through Wheeljack when the Maximals and the Autobots meet, which is awesome. Here he is, once again, with Battletrap, and I would have loved to see these two fight. These two would have been really cool to see go at it. Rhino or robot mode, I feel like these two would have been quite the battle to see. And finally, here we have the rest of the Maximals. Optimus Primal. We have Rhinox, Primal, Cheetor, and oh my gosh, this team is freaking huge. And Hellraiser. Looks like, possibly, yes. So here we go. The full Maximal team is here. They're together, and these guys look awesome. So, there you go. And of course, to end this video off, we do gotta take a look at his unique backdrop. This guy actually has a different backdrop than the others. This is the scene where Noah and Elena basically go and try to find the transwarp key, but I think this was meant to be a different scene in the movie. This was apparently supposed to be the Maximal freaking lair. So that, it definitely was a little disappointing to not be able to see, but not a huge deal. In my opinion, I like what we got. Just wish we got a little more for what we could have had for Rhinox and Cheetor. But you can, of course, place Mr. Rhinox right in there. And there you go. So, of course, you can go ahead and zoom in. And yes, this looks really freaking good. I like that a lot. And actually, if we dim the light a little bit, we can maybe make it look just a touch more accurate. Ooh, I like that. But with that, guys, that's gonna go ahead and mark the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts on Studio Series Rhinox, and turn on that bell notification so you don't miss another video from your boy. But with that, that's your man, Thundermus Prime, signing off. Have a good day. Wisdom cannot be granted. It must be earned, sometimes at a cost. And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Till all are one.